All right, so here's the deal. We're still doing Quadrajet stuff. I'm actually assembling it today though, which is exciting. The actual assembly process is exciting. And I've already done quite a bit of the stuff to it. You guys don't have to watch a lot of the boring stuff. Like I drilled out the the mixture screws a little bit wider, clipped some of the coils. You just clip those a little shorter because that way the thing can actually bottom out and you can get a little more tuning out of the thing. Because from the factory, they're pretty small openings. They're like 60 or 70. So they want you to jump up to 900s out of the gate. So I found the closest drill bit, 93. So just went with that. But a lot of the lame stuff is done. This was a fun one. Right here, these notches. As you can see, there's these little bleeds right here. These are for part throttle or just off throttle secondary fueling. It just pulls a little bit of fuel, and these are actually a lot like the factory notches that they put in, or not factory notches. The factory notches came down a lot deeper and they were rectangular, but that's a lot of air bleed, so we don't need that. So we just did these little ones right here so it would pull a little bit. And yeah, we're gonna start assembling it, and that way the next time you see this thing, I can actually be putting it on the truck and seeing if it's actually gonna, you know, shred like it's supposed to. And by shred, I mean go down the road and then hopefully light up the back tires when I want it to. And you guys will see that for sure. If not, I'm getting rid of this whole thing. But let's do this. Let's start reassembling. It's probably going to be a lot of time lapse because a lot of the stuff is kind of boring, but I'll touch on the more important parts. And yeah, let's do this. Super duper satisfying, by the way. Oh, so there goes that. All right, well, I got this little screw in. All right, I got the screw in, and what I'm doing with this is, as you can see, it protrudes through and pushes on this choke flap for the secondary. Or the choke linkage, I guess it links to the secondaries. And what we do, make sure you're set to 0, and then you measure from hold on so you open this flap up right here and you measure from the inside, from the inside of the secondary or the lead to the air horn body on the outside. And right there is about perfect for what I'm doing, which is just a very basic build, but in this book it tells you everything. So like right there, 1.30 to 1.330. As you saw, that was 1.3070. So that's perfect. I'm leaving that. You have to loosen this little Allen. There's more lighting here. You have to loosen this little Allen right here. And then there's a little flathead right there that you have to break free. Well, not really. You have to break this loose. And then there's a little tang on the other side of this that you slot the spring through, or that there's a little notch on the screw, and the spring has a straight line that sits in there. So as you twist this, it applies tension to the spring. And the measurement is that when it's sitting freely, like so, you twist this, you twist the screw until it closes, and then you do a half turn to 3/4 turn. And that's different per every single build, pretty much. That's really interesting. Learning all this stuff is very fascinating. This is extremely time consuming, way more time consuming than I originally predicted. But if this actually does what it's supposed to, it's going to be the most rewarding feeling. I'm probably never going to shut up about it, but you guys will hear that. right, so check this out. I'm stoked because I got a Quadrajet parts rebuild kit that is more specific to my application as opposed to the standard one from blank website that I got my first kit from. And the fuel inlet size, the fuel inlet seat is bigger by a significant margin than the other one, therefore meaning more fuel for me. So I feel really good about that because more fuel means mo better. I'm getting kind of tired already. It's pretty late. Anyways, so I'm going to throw this in. I've already formed a new check ball seat in it. And that is in this little orifice down here, this threaded one. And it holds fluid, which is how you test it. You can do brake clean or something like that. Or I did brake clean and then I tried WD-40 and blah, blah, blah. And it worked. So idle tubes are in. I'm going to install all that stuff, and then I'm going to do jets, and then I believe the base plate should be, or the main body should be done. And then, as weird as it may seem, I'm going to move to the base plate, and I guess I'm just putting it back together. This has been a long time coming. I've read that book about 6 or 7 times now, and I'm excited. I'm like super excited, especially if I get to hot rod my truck. Yes. Okay. Now that I got the secondary throttle plates in the base plate, as you can see, it opens past 90, which is no good. You don't want it to open past 90. Why would you want it to open past 90? What a lot of people do when they modify these super heavily is they will actually thin down the throttle shafts, meaning these guys right here and these guys right here, they'll run a file here to thin that down to get more CFM. As you can see, it's way beyond 90. So as you can see right there, look at all that travel. Gotta fix that. It's too much. I don't want it. I forgot to Loctite the tiny screws, so I took them all out, Loctited them, and put them back in. My buddy Dave told me I should do that. I double checked with him and he did not respond, so I did it anyways. But he also told me to stake them. And if you're a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know exactly what I'm about to do. I'm just kidding. It's not even remotely the same thing, but I guess it's close. Either way, I'm going to set this cold chisel right here. And I don't think that's good enough. The second time today I've used these. I've used the cold chisel. And it kind of makes me nervous because I don't want that to be a theme that I'm always having to chip stuff off. Scoop, good, good, doom, 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 doom. Sweet. Next. Important moment. Here we go. Base plate's going on. Also, I had a mini panic attack because I didn't think I had the right piece, the right gasket. But I took it out earlier, looked at it, and was like, oh my god, cool, I have it. I did have to clearance a little bit because where I epoxied was making contact in here and in here. And then also in here a little bit, so I dug a little off the side there, but not enough to where I'm worried about a vacuum leak or anything. Boom. Make sure it's making even contact. Okay, we're cruising. The mixture screws are gently seated. That's looking mint. That looks good and sealed. You can kind of try and work the gasket a little bit just to see if there's play in any spots. Like if you don't think it's sealing. There's like no slacking. We're mint. Mint on that. Yes. Got the float in. Got my fancy little measuring tool here. Dead nuts. I did bend it a little bit, just kind of off a guess. But that's mint. Absolutely frickin' mint. So 41s. Okay. So I gotta remove this because I am using my Quadrajet tuner tuning little thingamabob as a carb stand. And the rule is you're supposed to go 30 less than what you used as far as size goes, 0.30 less than the jets. Okay, 2 center screws first, which I just messed with. Not actually tightening these, I'm just making sure they all thread in nicely. Long screws in the back last. Fuel filter and housing is in place. Okay, it says invert the carburetor and check the needle seat. Boom. Boom. Dunzo. Dunzo. Bang. Thank you guys for watching. This video is done. We get to throw the carb on next. Finally. Oh, my back hurts. Yes. Hi. Hello. Peace, guys.